This is Teamwayfinder interviewing Austin Tindle, the voice of Cyborga in the new Hetalia, Ayumu from Is This a Zombie, and from the show A Certain Magical Index, Accelerator. It's good to have you on the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Let's go ahead and get started. How did you get into voice acting?
I first got started mainly because of Ian Sinclair, actually, who is the voice of Space Dandy and many other awesome titles. He was directing at the time, and he brought me in and got me on the books. And I spent probably a year and a half just doing WALA, which is an acronym that is debated about what it actually means. Some people think that it means with all actors, but it's where you just go inside a booth with 3 other guys and make a bunch of background noises, and every once in a while you get to do a little bit part. And so I did that for a really long time before I finally got to have my first character was Ian brought me in as a terrorist on Black Butler season 2. I'm on the train, and then my first named character was with Tyler Walker in Fairy Tale, and that's really how I kind of started. And I met Ian Sinclair doing a staged reading of Titus Andronicus at Shakespeare Dallas.
So, who have been some of your favorite characters to voice?
I mean, by far my favorite character still, I think, is Ayumu, even though we haven't gotten a new season yet, and it didn't go all the places that it could have gone. It was my first big role, and it was really fun to play. And since then, Yo Sato in Bento, which is a new show that I think just came out, was really enjoyable experience, mainly because Joel McDonald is an amazing director and he's super fun to work with. But those are definitely my top ones. I would say Accelerator is the hardest and scariest character that I've ever tried to work with, and there's a lot of new stuff that's going to be coming out with him soon. And I hope it lives up to the standard of what you need from him. But that was more of an intimidating character by far.
So tell us a little bit about Bento.
Bento. Okay, if you guys don't know about it, it's kind of like a Fight Club type of situation where the main character, who has to budget for his daily meals because his parents are absent, as they often are with main characters in animes, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to pay for his food every day, right? So he shows up at the grocery store after school trying to get the best deal possible, and there's half price bentos that are available. But what he doesn't realize is that there is a strict code of honor and an underground fighting ring that is involved in your ability to acquire the half price bentos. And so he slowly becomes a seasoned warrior as he battles his way for reasonably priced food every day after school, and understands the honor in that journey. Sorry, I'm eating blueberries.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of Bento. It looks really funny.
It was awesome. I think it's going to be pretty good. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and I really loved being in Is This a Zombie? But the zombie show could slow down a little bit too much in terms of harem shows, and Bento's a little bit more action oriented. And I've had more time to work at all this stuff too, so it was more fun. I feel like there's more opportunities. I really hope lots of people see it. I can't wait to see it. I still haven't seen any of it yet. I kind of, every time I show up at Funimation, I'm like, is it in yet? Is it in? And they still haven't given it to me. Gotcha.
How was it to play a character like Shuoma from Guilty Crown, who goes from a really kind of weak, feeble character to later on in the series where he's this powerful, I'm gonna save everybody.
Yeah, that was a totally that was an equally scary and exciting experience. Really, the biggest thing with Shu for me came down to all these different loud, long screams that he had to work with, and I was kind of new to that at the time, and Colleen Klinkenbeard did an amazing job of just coaching me in the right direction. But there were so many times where I was just almost blowing out my voice, trying to get the right sound for when you're screaming, kind of all these different the ways in which he would need to scream. It was not just a power-up yell, which you classically get with characters like that, but there's all these other desperate screams that I was working on. So that was my biggest scary part, but it was definitely fun kind of playing with the pitch of the character and starting off as someone who was really shy and innocent and kind of in the back of your throat and a little bit more nasally because you don't really know what's going on yet, and then slowly over time having to deal with just changing in pitch variation and being someone who's seasoned and dealing with difficult decisions. It was definitely difficult, but I hope I lived up to it, and it was very fun.
What's some funny stories you have from the booth?
One of the most interesting things that I caught early on was Tyler Walker has a lot of really interesting tricks of the trade when he's trying to get you to do something, especially when you're just learning how to do it. And so they have this kind of power-up fist position that they'll put you in sometimes if they're trying to get you to have a really exciting monologue where they'll have you raise your fist all the way up in the air, like your right hand, put it in a fist, and slowly bring it down next to your side as you're saying this long monologue that you're supposed to get through that makes you, like, it's one of those, like, rallying the troops type of I'm a badass monologues. And as a burgeoning voice actor, he would make me do that because I was trying to I wasn't, like, giving enough energy to the monologue or whatever, which was a weird experience for me, being in a tiny little booth, just squeezing my fist as hard as I could and bringing it down so that I can show that I'm doing something really important right now. Another thing they'll do a lot of times is if they have pre-recorded all the characters around you before you come in and do your scene, especially Tyler does this. He'll have them do a joke record, and they'll record a completely false line that is often very raunchy and inappropriate, and they'll just squeeze it in there to see how much you're paying attention before you spit your line out. And of course, most of the time when they would do this to me, I was so nervous about making sure that I was getting my line out that I didn't even pay attention to the fact that my character just said something that was completely inappropriate and didn't even make sense for the scene. It always fits the flaps. That's the important thing. It's a really raunchy statement that has to still look like the character's saying it completely right.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think Tyler's the one that I've had the most fun with in terms of getting joked around with. He has a lot of great techniques. Another one is one of the biggest problems is getting genuine laughs. Mm-hmm. Not only do you have to, like, make it sound like you're actually laughing, but it has to laugh in exactly the same way that's already been animated. So you have to be huffing and puffing at exactly the same time. And so he's always trying to get people to, like, get as much in the moment as they can while still dealing with the technique of it. And one of the things that he does is he'll chime in right before the last beep. There's 3 beeps that they give you before you have to start your line. He'll be like, beep, beep, beep. And then right before the last beep, he'll hump on the mic and he'll just be like, boobies. Just to try to trip you up and get you giggling a little bit. And sometimes it works really well.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. It is until it's like one of those days where you just can't laugh at the right speed for the character, so you've been doing it like 20 times.
Do you have any tips for up-and-coming voice actors yourself?
I mean, I'll say that me specifically, I'm an actor. I'm trying to do everything I can to be involved in any acting experience. I'm doing voiceover stuff. Always. I'm regularly taking acting classes. I'm on the stage. I'm trying to get in front of the camera. I'm doing commercials and industrials and whatever I can. So, first of all, if you want to be an actor, I would say, number one, just invest in all avenues that you can. Just continue to hustle as hard as you can. That's what it's about. A lot of people want to be actors, and the main thing that makes people successful is there is an amount of it that is talent, but there's another amount that's just persistence and professionalism and courtesy. So if you want to be an actor specifically, if you're interested in doing anime, there's very rare instances of people that actually just do that. The majority of people the majority of the names that you know, those are people that are trying to act in any way they can, and they ended up finding this avenue and being successful at it. But I would say, if at the very least, if you're most interested in voice acting, there are a few success stories that you can look towards, and the biggest thing you can do is just continue to practice. And I know people that are now that started off just as actors doing anything they could, but started to get successful as voice actors, and they sit down at home and they watch commercials all day long, and they imitate the voice actors in the commercials just to kind of practice. And then having access to functional equipment where you can record yourself and give yourself regular demos and be continually submitting yourself. If you're really dedicated to this, then that's where I would start. But number one is take as many acting classes as you can in any style.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I guess not. I don't know. It was nice talking to you guys, and I hope everyone enjoys Bento coming forward. And hey, check me out on Facebook /The Tindle or at Austin Tindle on Twitter, although I don't post enough. I should more. And I have an Instagram too. It's I think it's also Austin Tindle. So there you go.
All right. Well, it's been great having you on the show.
Hey, yeah, thank you so much for having me, man.